tour of the compound. We've been working our asses off here every weekend for years, 25 years. Christy's garden came out freaking amazing. We restored the house too last year, painted it. Look at our garden. You want to tell them what all the flowers are?
Oh my gosh. Well, all my irises, Shasta daisies are going to be going crazy. I've got bee balm, turtle lip, hydrangea, lots of daylilies.
Painted the house last year. It was cedar, but we painted it. I planted these pine trees. They're 30 feet tall. I planted them 25 years ago. I bought them here in the seat of my car. They were literally a foot tall. So this was originally a barn that we built on the property. It was supposed to be a carriage house, and we ended up turning it into our house. But that's a long story. There's 30,000 square foot of pavers on here. Industrial. Interlocking concrete pavers. They're 4 inches thick, so they can handle the weight of the tractor trailer. Stone wall. Well, there's like 3/4 of a mile of stone wall that we built. And it gets really steep over there. It's like 10 feet tall over there, literally. That's our solar panel that follows the sun. And this is a pond. It's about an acre. It's 15 feet deep. Directly off the edge. You step off the edge and it's 15 feet deep. We built these mafia block pads and the diving board platforms and the lifeguard stands and diving rock platform out of rocks that we harvested off the property. The area on the other side, we call that the island over there. It's kind of like an island of trees. We built the spillway over there. I built the spillway myself. I don't want anybody to help me. I just wanted to do it myself. This table's kind of cool. We made a table out of massive rocks. Every time I dug up a rock, at the time when I started doing this, I had a construction company where I had 2 bulldozers, a John Deere 750, big one, and a John Deere 350, and a backhoe loader, and I had a big John Deere 690 excavator, and I had 3 skid steers at one point, and all the attachments you could dream of. So I had all the equipment, and this is my hobby. When I wasn't racing dirt bikes, I'd be out here working on the property.
And this is all my gardening. This is my natural gardening. I added all the blue irises, the dogwood.
The mountain laurel are blooming over there. When we cleared the land, we kept all the mountain laurel. Those are American beech trees right there. Those are our favorite trees. The whole idea out here was to have like a woodland canopy, which is what you see. You've got the tall oak trees that are 50 to 120 years old, and then the ironwood. These are more American beech trees. There's a wetland area over there. Be a motocross track up here when the kids were little. Go by the stone wall. Show them the stone wall. Can't really see it from over here. Built the stone walls on the property line. All So I'm going to film from the back of the gate here. It's a better view here. But these, I love this little grove of ironwood. They're really spectacular trees. They're like, they don't get very tall, but they have some really cool shapes to them. This is a wetland meadow down here that we cleared and planted millions of flowers. Like, I think it was 100 and something pounds of flower seeds. It looks really green this time of year. There's some remnants of the motocross track. The track is still here, but the kids stopped racing and riding out here, so it got overgrown. Once the grandkids come, it'll be all dirt again. A lot of memories out here. We've had so many big bonfires out here with the kids over the years. So it's 52.9 acres. It's 800 feet wide and 3,200 feet deep, approximately. So a mile is 5,400 feet. So it's almost like 3/4 of a mile long. Just planted all the grass seed over on this side. This year it's coming in pretty good. These are mountain laurels that are the Connecticut state tree, and that's an American beech tree that grew out of a pile of chips that I shipped literally 25 years ago, 23 years ago, whatever it was. That's one of my favorite trees on the whole property. We get a lot of turtles over here, and we've seen bobcats on the property, American eagles. There's another little small pond area over there. That's an American beech tree. Bobcats, turkeys, eagles. We have hawks that live on the property, snakes, turtles, skunks, turkeys, all kinds of wildlife. That's my tree right there. So every one of these trees, when I came here and started clearing the land, I came out here with a land clearance saw and started clearing. This looked just, that's exactly what it looked like, the whole 35 acres of the back half of like no one had done anything in 100 years here, 50 years. So the property was owned by the Hannon family. Mary Hannon was the sole last person living here on the farm across the street that had 160 acres. And I went and banged on her door one evening after spending years trying to find property through realtors. I decided to take matters into my own hands, and I went down to town hall and mapped out on a town map all of the properties, private owned properties of 25 acres or more. And I knocked on her door on an evening just like now, 25 years ago, and I said, would you like to sell part of your farm? I'm looking for some land to raise my family on in Tallinn. And she said yes. So she said, I'll call you in the morning with the price. And she called me in the morning at 7 a.m. sharp, like she said she would. Gave me the price, and I said, I'll take it. I would have paid substantially more for it, actually, after looking at Tallinn. Tallinn's a highly developed area, and there's really no big parcels of land left. Matter of fact, that field back there, that 15-acre field, is probably 30%. At the time, 25 years ago, it was 10% of the remaining USDA, United States Department of Agriculture certified premium grade A farm soil. It's actually on the USDA map. So we did a deal with the town where I put the property in farmland in the forest and forestry out here, and they agreed to not drive me out of town with high taxes. So we did a deal with them and put it in the open space and for reduced taxes, property taxes. This is a turtle farm, basically. All the turtles, if you look closely, I'll zoom in, you can see all the turtle shells from the hatchlings from this year. It's sand that we put there some time ago. This little bridge across to the other side. This is beautiful over here. It's one of my favorite pieces in the whole property. It's the wetland area that we had cleared and planted all the wetland wildflowers, and it's just spectacular. That's another American beech tree. there's a BLD, beech leaf disease thing going on where there's little, I don't know, parasites are eating our leaves. So we actually tagged like, I think 60 of the trees on the property, and had a company who specializes in spraying them with, and putting the chemicals on there to kill the parasites so the trees don't die. But I've been caring for these trees for 25 years. We don't hunt on the property at all. I have one friend that I let hunt here, and he harvests 1 or 2 deer a year, but I like to let the wildlife just live their happy lives here. So this side here we had cleared and stumped and pulled a lot of the rocks out. We left all the pine trees. There's probably 20 pine trees out here. But this is the house site back here that Junior's and Shaylin are gonna build their house back here on top of this knoll. When we get up there and turn around, you'll see there's an incredible view from up here. This is the highest spot on the property. Maybe as early as next year, if everything works out. Check out the pine trees. See all the little pine trees that are popping up. Another one down there. The beauty of the evergreens is it provides year-round color and interest, because in the winter it gets pretty depressing up here in Connecticut. You know, there's no leaves on the trees and everything turns gray. So it's nice to introduce as many evergreens as we can. That's another wetland area over there that we might develop into a pond, but it's like a bright green this time here. There's a huge grove of pine trees back there, and we left this back, well, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 acres completely. Well, we left it pretty much natural as a buffer from, there's a neighborhood on the other side, and we're riding dirt bikes and stuff. We wanted to help keep the noise down. The hawk nest is in this tree right here. Let me see if I can zoom in and see it. It's right there. There's a pair of hawks that have been raising babies in there for years. They've been here since we got here. It's pretty quiet and peaceful out here. Definitely a cool spot for a gazebo up here. Birds and wildlife out here. There's a really nice beech tree. Lots of big oaks. Super green and lush out here. In the fall, there's all kinds of butterflies in here. You wouldn't believe. She planted, Chrissy picked up lots of blends of flowers that attract butterflies. So the monarch butterflies that fly south for the winter. Can you imagine that? The butterflies fly from the northern hemisphere here in Connecticut all the way down to Florida and back. It's pretty remarkable. This is another good house site right here. Maybe Taylor and Jordan would want to build here someday. I don't know. Taylor lives in California now, and there's plenty of land here. So I'm putting the property in a trust for the kids, so it'll never get sold, and I'll never sell it. And when I die, I kind of want to. I'm going to get buried here somewhere. I don't know where, but I figured this would be a great place. I don't want to be in a public cemetery with a bunch of strangers. So probably put a family cemetery on here somewhere. Let's go show them the island.
What?
I'm going to show you the island over there. This was a lot of work doing this pond. I took a year off of work in 2006 and built the house. And inside of the house, all the flooring, all the doors, all the kitchen cabinets, the stairs, I made out of trees that I cut down here on the property, which is pretty cool. Oak flooring. And everything you see here is a goal that I had written down over 30 years ago. Everything here was literally what you see is what I had planned. And the universe seems to respond when you work your ass off and you have great goals. Most people fail not because they don't have talents, because they have impotent goals that don't inspire them to work their ass off. But this is a pretty inspiring project, and I had an opportunity to take a year off of work and build the house, and that's what I did. Then another time, about 15 years ago, I took 6 months off of work and landscaped this place around the clock, literally around the clock. That's all I did, and raced dirt bikes. That was part of it too. But that was like, I dug the pond and we built all that. So, and then there was a lot of 2-week vacations that I took over the last 25 years where I would come out here and landscape, and I had all the heavy equipment. So I love this area out here. This is one of my favorite spots on the whole property, the island right here. Isn't this? What do you think, Christy? Isn't this spectacular out here?
Oh my God, I love the island. I mow all through here. I've landscaped this with the lawnmower.
She said that she landscapes this with a lawnmower.
I limbs everything. I trim everything right along and as it
They can't.
seeds, I keep it carved out looking.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
what she said is you probably can't hear her, but I'm in the back of the gator and she's inside. I can hear her, but she said she mows all this and trims it as the water recedes in the wetlands over here. We have a 72-inch Ferris commercial mower. We've worn out several zero turns here over the years. What we really want to get is one of those batwing mowers, but they're like really expensive, like 60 grand. So we haven't been able to justify it yet, but eventually we'll get a batwing mower, maybe as a retirement. There's no retiring. I mean, I'm an enthusiast. I'll die in the motorcycle industry. Be doing the motorcycle thing forever, and working on our ponds and developing the property. This is like a forever project. It's never really over. The solar panel's pretty cool. It's massive. At one point when they put the solar panel up, that was the largest tracker that the Sun Tracker company had ever made. Solar panel. Kids used to have big parties here, and 10, 20 other friends over. We ran a motocross school here. The Canning Speed Establishment started right here, right out in the field. He runs the Southwick school now, Chris Canning. And what a great experience that was. Chris Canning left Will Lostrom, Mike Shea, Alien, Junior, Taylor, Jordan, all that. We had like 5 parents that would kick in, 5 or 7, maybe 6 or 9 parents that would kick in $100 every week towards Chris. So he was like 17 at the time, so it seemed like a lot of money. And I guess back then it was. And he would train the 7 or 9 kids all day, every day, all week. This is a lighted track out here. I don't know if the camera picks up the gently rolling hills. These used to be jumps, supercross jumps. We had a lighted supercross track out here when Junior was 15 years old, 10 years ago. But yeah, there's some big berms. Can we go up the top, big jump?
Yeah.
We'll take a ride over there. These lights are awesome. And talk about field of dreams out here. It's pretty awesome. I still ride this, not as much as I should, but maybe half a dozen times a year. But this is a massive berm right there. There were 70 dump truck loads of dirt to create both of these berms. They're huge. They're they're about 9 feet tall. I don't know if looks cool now. It's gently rolling hills, but eventually.
They do a pretty damn good job mowing.
Yeah, you get an A++.
I mean, look at those berms.
Yeah, she mows those berms like a
I mow this whole
world-class champion. And she likes mowing it. We have you know, staff that we could bring up here, but she loves doing this. So, but she loves mowing, and she does a better job than any of the guys we've ever had out here doing it. And look at those lines. So she works her ass off here. Look at that row of flowers over there on the wall. You see that? You see the wall of flowers over there? What kind of flowers are those?
Oh yeah, these are all wild roses.
Wild roses?
Yep.
They look spectacular. Let's go take a look at them. So my landscape architect that I hired when I bought this place, his name is Donald Worth, and he said, when you get older, you'll really appreciate the wetlands and the wildflowers and everything that you're developing here. And he was right. I'm 60 years old now, and I get a kick out of it. I think it's awesome. When I first got here, all I wanted to do was rip it up and ride my dirt bike on it. But get a little closer. Get right up close to them. Look at these. Well, these are wild flowers. What'd you call them?
I think they're wild roses.
Wild roses.
Hold on.
They smell amazing. They smell really good.
Very similar.
God, that smells good. Wow. But nature does a lot of it, and Don told me that if you create the environment for nature to blossom and select the right species to leave and take out the other ones, you can create something freaking amazing. These stone walls were years of work. This stone wall is ridiculous. We just put that fence in, the state gate. I planted that pine tree there. It was 2 feet tall. Now it's 25 feet tall. That tree was there. That tree was there. But I planted this cherry tree right here. That one. Planted that pine tree right there. Slow the roll a little bit. It's hard to film when you're doing 30. A little faster. A little bumpy back here. Got a little breach in the wall here. Gonna repair that. Well, there's always maintenance. Planted this one here too. This entryway took me years to finish. There's more concrete in the entryway than there is in the house. These dragons, I was on a business trip when I was in the computer industry years ago, and I had a big giant Kenworth box truck, and I was driving down the road somewhere in upstate New York, and I saw these lions, and I was like, I gotta have them, so I pulled over and bought them. Yep. Planted these pines, they're freaking massive now. It's cool when you plant something small and then you see it become huge right in front of your very eyes. It takes a while, but I planted these over here. The apple, we have a little apple orchard, pear orchard over here, apples and pears. There was like 25 trees. Now, unfortunately, there's only 6 left. They died. These trees, what kind of trees are these? I forgot.
Huh?
Are these maple trees? The ones, oh, they're ash trees. That's what it is. There's a disease that they have, and it ended up killing one over there. Go ahead, you can go. There's a, see the dead branches? These were like all bare last year. And then if you see that silver tag on the tree? That's one of the trees we tagged. Planted these pine trees. They're freaking huge. This one died. We got to remove it this year. Removed hundreds of trees off, hundreds, probably thousands altogether over the years on the 50 acres. But planted that one. That one was here naturally. It's huge. That was here when I got here. But the one that I planted is growing faster, this one, than the natural one for some reason. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's a different species. Those are Hanover lanterns on the driveway. Got these light. So the driveway's 900 feet long from here to the entryway, and there was 18,000 square feet of pavers around the house here, but I expanded. I did that little expansion and another expansion, so it's probably closer to 20,000 square feet now. We just painted These doors were white last year. We painted them black and did the gold details on them. The cupola is cool. You can actually go inside the cupola from the inside. Go up a ladder on it. But yeah, so it's been a lifelong project, 25 years anyways. It's a basketball court right here. We put the pavers in there like a basketball court. So we're taking the transporter to Laconia for Laconia Bike Week, and tomorrow is the first day of the Penguin Road Racing School. I've never road raced before. I've always been a motocrosser, hill climber, dirt rider, but and street rider too. But I'm going to the class Thursday, so we're gonna wash the rig, get her dialed in, and get the bikes loaded, and we're heading up to Laconia for Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday. The big race is Saturday, huge race. So big race coming up. It's going to be pretty cool. $400,000 purse, the largest purse in the history of motorcycle racing in the United States of America. We'll be at the Loudon Speedway, Laconia. It was a New Hampshire International Speedway. That's what it's called. And we'll be camping out there. If you want to come visit us, say hello. We'll be on the infield there. Just drive in the tunnel to the infield. We'll be in the pit area with this big rig. We won't be hard to find. I never am. So you know where to find me. But hopefully you come say hello and talk to the people that run the events and the racers and hang out. And then Wednesday we're going to, well, there's a stunt rider event Saturday night. We're going to right down at Weirs Beach. So we're going to the stunt riders event. And then what are we doing? Then we're coming home because we got a big shipment of bikes coming in on Monday. We got 23 bikes coming in. Wait till you see the trailer unload. 23 classics. So after that, we're going back up for the hill climb. I'm hill climbing with my CR500. Now Chrissy's going to give us a garden tour.
Look at these. Are these crazy right now or what?
Yeah, they're super vibrant. So what was your color theme when you did the garden?
I started out with a red, white, and blue theme. So I have the red dianthus, purple salvia, white sedum. I've got red bee balm. And then I got coneflowers. The
Metal Genius Joe made this,
yes.
And I bought it for Christy for, I think it was a Christmas present. I don't remember, but got a lot of sculpture. He's an unbelievable artist. Unfortunately, he's closing his shop. Sadly, I got to give him a call.
My peonies.
This whole ridiculous amount of work.
Some yellow in for later on, so I have coreopsis and miniature black-eyed Susans.
You got to do something with your life. You might as well do something cool, right?
Right.
Create something beautiful.
Oh, I love my garden. I work really hard on my garden.
It is a lot of work keeping it looking this nice. You just did the mulch a couple weekends ago, right?
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing every weekend.
It was working in the yard.
Working in the yard while a lot of people are out partying, and I don't know, the three little pigs, right? Well, we're trying to build a brick house here. This is all post and beam and 2x6 hybrid construction with hurricane bracing. This isn't going anywhere ever. This will be here for long after I'm dusting the wind. So maybe I'll get buried over there on the top of the hill. That'd be a good burial mound, right?
I know.
Create your own burial mound. Put a big tombstone up there. Maybe a statue of me. No, just kidding. A little tombstone will be fine. I just want to be here. It's a cool spot. That'll be the first time I'll be able to relax here when I'm buried here, right?
I know. We're
too busy
working.
Too busy working.
Doing mowing and gardening and oh my gosh.
So we do an annual tour of the property.
But I love it.
Yeah, we do an annual tour every year just to show you guys as the property develops what it looks like, and usually around Memorial Day, you know, from May 30th to August, it looks the best. Everything's nice and green and kind of glows green. And it makes it all worthwhile, all the hard work. Sometimes you can't see it when you're working in the fall and the winter and in the early spring. You can't see how it's going to turn out, but I'd say it looks pretty darn good. It's very gratifying creating something like this. Built this house with my buddy Scott Schroer Construction. I was going to have an architect. It was supposed to be the carriage house for a big house we're going to put on the other side of the pond. But and I asked the architect to help me build the barn, and they said, no, we don't we don't do barns. You know, we're above that. You know, go to someplace else. And we ended up drawing it. I drew it basically on a napkin. No, actually, it was a piece of paper, but I just drew it on a piece of paper, and exactly what I wanted for the barn, carriage house. And then Scott knew how to use CAD, and he put it on CAD, and we ended up modifying it, and we built the barn. It was done, and then ended up having some other big life-changing things go on and financial issues, so I couldn't build the big house over there. So I was looking at the barn. I was like, we could just turn this into the house, and that's what we did. The town said, we don't like people that build their barns here first because they usually end up living in them. I was like, that'll never happen to me. So sure enough, but I love it. It's cool. It's been perfect, and I don't need anything bigger than that. It's 2,600 square foot between in the living area, and the bottom half is 1,800. The bottom is 30 by 60, so it's 1,800 square foot in the lower level. There's 2 garage doors in the front and 3 on the back, so it's all vehicle storage on the bottom, and living quarters on the 2nd and 3rd floor. So it worked out. You know, it's built on a slab, typical barn. But pavers. This is a whole nother obsession. This was a serious obsession. I can't believe I can believe we accomplished it, but it was years of work doing the driveway, like 5 years. When I unloaded I bought.
And now we're modifying and changing it.
I bought 20 set. It was 542 pallets, if I remember correctly. It was either 24 or 27 tractor trailer loads. I rented a big diesel forklift, and there was a line of tractor trailers down the road, like 4 or 5 all day long. And it took me from 7 in the morning to 7 at night to unload them all. And they had them stacked up, 4 feet tall pallets, some of them doubled up, all the way down the driveway on both sides and around the house. So when I got done unloading them, like I literally didn't even get off the forklift. I just stood on the side of it and peed off the side of it, you know, and had lunch delivered to me and ate it on it, because there was tractor trailers waiting for me. So I just kept on working, and I got it done, and I unloaded it, and I said, what did I do? What did I do? I am in big trouble now. So and we just picked away at it for years with the help of some friends and some hired help, and we had the Bobcat and all the vibratory compactors and the saws, had all the equipment. We picked away at it and we got it done. But it's probably the largest private installation of pavers. I don't know anybody who's got this. I mean, this is just like an obsession, and it's almost an acre of pavers now. So, but it's been great, because if this was tar 25 years later, it would be junk and it would have to be replaced. We'd probably be on our 3rd driveway by now with the frost heaves and stuff. But this stuff will last for centuries. These bricks are 4 inches thick. So that's a pad for future barn building over there. And we're just, you know, taking it one day at a time. Big sky country, got a lot of sky out here. The stone walls too. When we, that was another story. When we cleared the field here, it was originally a cornfield, and we cleared the windrows on both sides. And every time I found a stone, I was like, you know, well, like harvesting materials. So we actually had a pile behind the house here, as tall. It was literally, well, the tractor trailers 13.4. It was probably half that height, maybe 8 feet high, and twice as long as a tractor trailer, about 100 foot long and 20 feet wide. A massive pile of stones. And I told my buddy Kurt, I said, I remember saying specifically, I was 35, and I was like, I'm going to be 60 years old by the time those stone walls are done. Well, here I am, 60 years old, and the stone walls are done. But it's a maintenance thing. Got to pick away at it. They're pretty huge too. I gotta show you this. This one over here. Over the years, we had various size walls. This one here is ridiculous. Look at how fat this wall is. It's literally almost 6 feet wide. I got a little carried away on this section, but we had a shitload of rocks. I figured let's build some big ass stone walls. This is supposed to be a fireplace, but I ended up using it as a throne. You can just sit in here. It's like a big chair. I didn't want to ruin it. So I'm 6 feet tall, and this is as tall as me right here. And it just gets big. It gets bigger, because I wanted the top of it to look level from the house. for some reason. So as the land goes down, it gets taller. This is our little retention pond that we put in last year for the future barn site. We had Gardner and Peterson Engineering lay all this out. Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall, right? I'm 6 feet tall, and I can't reach the top of it. So I've measured it before. It's close to 10 feet tall, the wall on this end, which is kind of ridiculous. And there's some massive, massive stones in here. Look at this. I'm 6'2", and this wall towers over me. So that was big. There's a solar panel. We are pretty much off the grid here. We have geothermal heat and air conditioning, which runs off of electricity. So we don't burn oil here. We have this massive solar panel. So again, to put this into perspective, I'm 6 feet tall. This thing's at least 25 feet tall, maybe 30 feet tall. This was an excellent investment. It paid for itself. I think it was 7 or 9 years it paid for itself, and I've had it for over 10 years. So we're like pretty much off the hook. And it starts off facing east in the morning, and then it turns, it's pointing towards the west over here. So the sun rises in the east over there and sets in the west over here. I think we got a frog in here somewhere. Tree frog. This whole pole rotates up at the top there. Tracks the sun. I guess you get like 40% more solar power when you do it that way. I like to put a gazebo over this. So I sold all the assets of my construction company, sadly, when we built the motorcycle museum and restored the mills, because we ran out of money like 4 times. There's Christy up on the porch. The cat's like spending a lot of time out on the porch. Hello. So in July we have a fountain that's going in here this week. That was a good investment. Aerates the pond. But definitely would like to put a gazebo on top of this, a post and beam one at some point. Right where that red ball is, that's where we tie off the fountain. So we got this big fountain and it has lights on it. It's kind of expensive. It was like I think it was over I think it was 5,000 or 8,000 for the fountain, but it's worth every penny. It aerates the pond and it looks really cool and makes a really nice sound. It's really peaceful up here. We're literally 1,000 feet off the road here. You can't even see the road at all from here, so it's kind of nice. Someday I want to put a concrete pad here for park the RV, and I got an RV hookup. We already installed. Electricians installed 10 years ago, I don't know, right here, so we can hook up 3 RVs over here. Jeff Castine, the Manic Mechanic, hooked up here and camped out for a few weeks before he headed south for the winter, a couple years in a row. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go in. Got to get ready for Laconia and the Loudon Classic. Be rolling coal in the big rig on the way there. Love driving this thing, man. I drove this all the way from Yukon, Teslin, Alaska. I purchased it. I did some videos up there. Pulled it out of a Quonset hut that I had been stored in for 12 years since the owner had passed away, and drove it home and did a frame up restoration on it. That was a whole journey itself. But anyways, life is great when you're sober. Work hard, set some goals, high goals, and go for it. If you fall short, you still go way farther than you ever would have planned without goals. Thank you all for watching. God bless America.